Hello everybody, I'm Buddy Strange, this is StrangeVoodooTV. Hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving and we had a nice week, so let's just get into it. First off, the win of the week, I just have to do it. It's gonna be the Cincinnati Bengals, had to do it. Congratulations Bengals on your first win of the year. It was a really good one over the Jets, 22-9 I believe, and yeah, that was well deserved, well earned, a long time waiting. Andy Dalton came in and had a good day. Joe Mixon on the ground as well. It was a really good day for him. I'm happy they at least got one, even if it went against my pick'em. Even if it dinged my record a little bit, I'm just glad the Bengals got one. Sorry Jets that you had to be the team that they got one against, but man, that was a really good one by the Bengals, and I did it for the Dolphins, so I had to do it for the Bengals. Win of the week, Bengals. Alright, the loss of the week, yes, could be the Jets, but we're going to go the Raiders again for the second week in a row. That was not good. That was not a good performance by them. 40-9, getting blown out for the second week in a row, and I don't know, maybe they aren't the team that we thought they were going to be. Yeah, the Oakland Raiders get blown out by the Jets, who just lost to the Bengals, 34-3, and then come back and get beat 40-9. It's just unbelievable. They were in playoff contention. I mean, they still are, but that did not help their case. Losing to the Chiefs, a division rival, and that badly. And definitely, loss of the week goes to the Raiders. Alright everybody, SVTV's Players of the Week. First off, we have Deshaun Watson getting it 3 touchdowns against a defense that didn't even allow more than 1 touchdown against them from a quarterback, from a passing perspective. Each quarterback they've faced has only got 1 touchdown, not multiple, not 2. They've gotten a passing touchdown and rushing touchdown like Lamar Jackson, but passing, only 1 touchdown. Watson got 3, passer rating 140, 234 yards to go along with it. Very big day for him. He definitely deserves it. Had to give it to him. Good job, Texans, on the win. We were right about that one. I'm so excited. That was a good game. You might see a little bit of that game in a second. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, Deshaun Watson, Offensive Player of the Week, number 1. We do have a second one this week, yet again. I mean, come on. It was hard to pick. I almost picked Derrick Henry. I couldn't decide between Derrick Henry and this guy. I ended up picking Devontae Parker, 159 yards off of 7 catches, 2 touchdowns. Just had to give it to him. I almost want to give it to 3. I really want to give it to Derrick Henry too. He really deserved it. If you want to give it to Derrick Henry, feel free to give it to Derrick Henry. I would be more than happy to agree with that, but I'm giving it to Parker here. Put it down in the comments below. Devontae Parker, Derrick Henry. Would love to hear from you on that. I went Devontae Parker, although, man, it was really hard, but Devontae Parker against the Eagles, lit them up, had a big day in their win, which was huge too. I mean, that could have been win of the week too, but nah, Bengals. Bengals had to get it. But Devontae Parker, Offensive Player of the Week, alongside Deshaun Watson. Alright, Defensive Player of the Week is going to be Cameron Jordan, getting 4 sacks on Thanksgiving. That was a huge day for him. I know the Falcons line is better than it was, but it's still not up to par just yet. But giving up 4 sacks is big for anybody, any player. And Cameron Jordan came in big, and he definitely deserves it, along with 7 tackles and I think a pass defense. Dude had a big role in their win on Thanksgiving, and just had to give it to him here. And then lastly, Special Teams Player of the Week is going to be Will Lutz, 4 out of 4, 100%. Both of his extra points, 2 out of 2. Probably one of the main reasons besides Cameron Jordan in that defense. And Shy Tuttle, baby, rumbling, rolling down the sideline. I'm going to show it right here, but man, he picked that ball off one-handed, kind of bobbled it a little bit, and then just bam, stiff arm Matt Ryan going down the sideline. I mean, I hate to say that for Matt Ryan, because I do like Matt Ryan, but God, I love to see a big man running with the football, and then I love me a good stiff arm. So that was really cool to see. Not really Play of the Week worthy. I mean, it is, but couldn't really do it, but I wanted to show it. So there it was. Will Lutz, big in the win. Had to give it to him here. Getting 14 points for the Saints. There you go. Special Teams Player of the Week, Will Lutz. Alright everybody, are you ready for SVTV's Plays of the Week? Here we go.
The punter takes the snap, and then the toss to the end zone for the touchdown to the place kicker, Jason Sanders. Come on. Let him go.
5 runs, 3 passes. Little trickery here. Hopkins and more trickery to Watson. Touchdown. Oh, baby. Like a 4x100 relay.
Alright everybody, I hope you enjoyed the plays of the week. If you did, hit that like button down below to show your support for the players making the plays and for me picking the plays. But anyway, let's get into how we did this past week. This past week we went 11-16, which I told you we had a nice week, and guess what? That's 69%, everybody. Nice. Anyway, let's take a quick look at the games. Just run it down. All Thanksgiving Day games. Got them. That was awesome. That was a great Thanksgiving. Again, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving full of stuffing and turkey. If you do ham, cranberries, mashed potatoes, all that good stuff. Some pumpkin pie, apple pie, or whatever. Sweet potato pie. I'm not really a sweet potato guy, but if you have sweet potato pie, if you like that stuff, I hope you got some, and I hope you got seconds too, and I hope you had leftovers the next day for some turkey sandwiches and stuff. That's always one of my favorites. The day after Thanksgiving, slap some turkey on some white bread with some mayo on there. That's good stuff. But anyway, anyway, that was Thanksgiving. All right, got them all right, which was awesome. And then Browns Steelers, called the Steelers. I called the Steelers. No, I called the Browns. I still have it on my pad that I called the Steelers. Damn it. No, I called the Browns in the end, and that didn't work out. Man, I should have gone with my gut. I knew it. I knew it. And then the Packers versus Giants got that right. Eagles, Dolphins did not get that right. Dolphins pulled out. Good job, Dolphins. Buccaneers, Jaguars pulled that one out. Titans, Colts pulled that one out. Jets versus Bengals did not pull that one out, and I was far from getting it because I said Jets 31-17. I don't know. I just thought Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell, they're finding their rhythm. Gase, but geez, I guess not. They fooled me last week, winning 34-3 over the Oakland Raiders. I thought, man, maybe they did finally get it all together, but I guess not. Not yet, at least. And then the Redskins Panthers did not pull that one out. And if you didn't already know, Ron Rivera just got fired like 5 minutes ago, or whenever I'm recording this. He just got fired. By the time this gets out, it'll already be old news a couple days ago. But Ron Rivera just got fired. And yeah, losing to the Redskins is not a good way to keep your job. And he didn't, so I got that one wrong. 49ers Ravens got that right, barely. Thank you, Justin Tucker, for pulling it out. And thank you, John Harbaugh, for some of the best clock management I've ever seen in a game. That was an amazing job by him and the Ravens team. Good job on them. Rams Cardinals. I was feeling Cardinals. I really was, but Rams just throttled them and really gave them no chance. They were really blowing off some steam from the past game against the Ravens. I could feel it. And then the Chargers Broncos. I told you, baby. I told you, don't sleep on the Broncos now. I told you. No, they won. We called it. That was awesome. Drew Lock in his first start. That was good to see. Him and Cortland Sutton. That combo's looking really good. So continue to watch out for that. And then the Raiders-Chiefs called that one. It was way worse than I thought it was going to be, but still called it. Patriots versus Texans called that one, baby. All right, good job, Texans, pulling it out. That was awesome. And then the Seahawks pulling it out. So there you go. That was this past week. Let's get into this next week, and let's have ourselves another good week. Let's go. All right, first off, on Thursday, we've got the Cowboys versus the Bears. The Cowboys coming off a tough loss on Thanksgiving Day to the Bills. I mean, it's the Bills. I wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, the Cowboys are still 6-6. They lost to a good team. Yeah, it was at home. But the Bills are a good team. They've got a good running game, which the Cowboys aren't that great against, and a great defense, which, any team kind of fails against. It'll be interesting to see the Bills versus Ravens this week. But anyway, it's going to be the Cowboys versus the Bears. The Bears coming off a win. Mitch Trubisky coming off his best game yet, getting 3 touchdowns. I should give him Cleanse Player of the Week just on context alone, but no. It was against the Lions secondary, which since they traded away Quandre Diggs, and it's been a mess. And that's exactly why I'm going to call the Cowboys winning over the Bears 23-16. It's going to be on the road, yeah, but I think Dak Prescott can catch fire. I think Ezekiel Elliott, the Bears' run defense, has also kind of been not that great. I think Ezekiel Elliott, if they give him the ball, they haven't been giving him the ball a lot, but I think Ezekiel Elliott, even Tony Pollard out of that backfield can have themselves a good day if they just get the chance. If they just give him the ball, I think they can have a good day. Dak Prescott throwing to Amari Cooper, who's probably going to have like Prince Amukamara or someone on him, and he can be a liability. I think the Cowboys can come out on top on that one. I mean, if David Blau, I call him, if David Blau can have a good day against the Bears, I think Dak Prescott and the Cowboys can Cowboys win. All right, next up, we've got the Panthers versus the Falcons. The Panthers are coming off of firing Ron Rivera a little bit ago after losing to the Redskins. Falcons coming off a tough loss against the Saints on Thanksgiving, so they're going to be a little more rested than the Panthers, but there's always something about switching coaches and getting that momentum. There's something about it. I don't doubt that the Falcons can get it done, but for some reason, I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think the Panthers win 24-20. Kyle Allen, Christian McCaffrey. That team somehow molds together in their first game without Ron Rivera. I don't know if it happens, but somehow, some way, I think it does. But this will be a big test to see whether the Panthers quit and give up. If they're that kind of team, you can see a lot about the players in situations like this. Are they quitters or are they ralliers? Can they rally and bring it all together and get a win? I think they'd get the win, but I would not be surprised if the Falcons pull it out. I am going to call the Panthers in this one, though. Panthers win. All right, maybe the best matchup of the week. We've got there's another one coming down the line that's probably going to be a little bit better, but this is a really good one in itself. Ravens versus Bills, one of the top offenses against one of the top defenses. We witnessed this last week when the 49ers faced off against the Ravens. One of the top offenses, one of the top defenses. Here we see it again. The Bills coming off a big Thanksgiving Day win against the Cowboys. The Ravens coming off probably one of the biggest wins of the season for any team outside of the Seahawks, who also beat the San Francisco 49ers. But like I said before, the Ravens with great clock management. John Harbaugh just absolutely mastered that in this past game. That was great to see. Lamar Jackson taking over the league by storm. Mark Ingram, big trust, baby. Justin Tucker, also big trust, baby. If you didn't see that really quickly, here that is.
Like in the spirit of my teammates who have been up here to talk to you guys the last few weeks, I should say something like real inspiring, like big trust. And I'll open it up for questions.
But anyway, yeah, during the interview, that was a fun moment. Little golden nugget right there of comedy. But here, it's going to be a tough one. I really couldn't decide who I wanted to pick, but I ended up picking the Ravens to win 27-17. I just think they're too hot right now as a whole team. That offensive line defense is actually stellar, led by Marlon Humphrey, Matthew Judon, Earl Thomas. Yeah, it's just a good unit. Even Domata Peko up front, kind of. It's just a really good unit, and I think they can stop the Bills' offense with Josh Allen, Frank Gore, and Devin Singletary. I think they can stop that offense. And then on the flip side, I think they get stopped up pretty well too, but in the end, they break free for a couple big ones and get in range for Justin Tucker for some other ones, and they end up winning. Ravens win over the Bills. All right, Bengals versus Browns. Is it going to be Bengals 2-0 streak, baby, against the Browns? We'll see, but I don't think so. I think the Browns end up winning against the Bengals 28-14. I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer than this, but I do think the Browns end up winning either way. I think the defense won't be able to stop up Nick Chubb, and Baker Mayfield might have himself a couple touchdowns on the day two. This will be his best chance probably of the season so far to have a mistake-free day, like no picks, no fumbles. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws an ill-advised pass and somehow gets intercepted, but if there's ever a day he can go mistake-free, it's Sunday. But we'll see. I do think the Browns win, though. All right, next up, the Redskins versus Packers. Hey, get this. If the Eagles lose out, all except the Cowboys game. If the Eagles win against the Cowboys, and if the Cowboys lose out completely, and the Redskins win out completely, the Redskins are in the playoffs, baby, at 7-9. Can you believe it? The Cowboys would be 6-10, the Eagles would be 6-10, and the Redskins would be in. That would be insane. But that would also mean that they have to win against the Packers, which is not an easy task. But hell, with the way the season's been going, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Anyway, that being said, the Packers did get a big win against the Giants, with Aaron Rodgers throwing 4 touchdowns, that defense getting 3 picks. That was a huge day. And Daniel Jones is a really good passer, so don't just say, oh, it's, Daniel Jones, come on. He is a really good passer. Yes, he's a rookie and made rookie mistakes, but that defense is still really good. They just tend to have some off games for whatever reason. Don't doubt that offense either. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, so on and so forth. They're good. That offensive line isn't what it used to be, but it still can hold its own at times. And then that game was awesome. Just a weather game. Packers versus Giants. That was cool. But anyway, here I do have the Packers winning 31-20 over the Redskins. The Redskins been kind of on a hot streak. They've been winning, doing well. But here, I don't see it. I do think the Packers end up winning. I think Aaron Rodgers can have himself a good day. Ryan Kerrigan's going to miss this game. That's going to be huge. And then Dwayne Haskins against that hungry defense. Eesh, that's not going to be good. I think the Packers pull it out at home. All right, next up, we've got the Broncos versus the Texans. The Broncos, Drew Lock, Cortland Sutton coming off a big day, and a big day without Von Miller, too. They were missing Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. Still had a really good day against the Chargers. Offensively, Phillip Lindsay found a groove, and then, yeah, Drew Lock was passing the ball really well. He had a couple rookie mistakes, but overall, that was a really good job and a really good performance out of the rookie quarterback in his first game ever. First NFL game ever. I couldn't have been more happy with his performance. He got it done, and there you go. And then the Texans, though, they beat the Patriots. Had a wonderful trick play that you saw earlier. DeAndre Hopkins having a good day. Deshaun Watson having probably his best game this season. It was just a masterful performance, and that defense held up really well too. Bradley Roby, who's going to be facing off against the Broncos, not going home to see him, but coming to him to see him, and that'll be an interesting matchup in of itself. Bradley Roby versus Drew Lock and Cortland Sutton, or whoever he matches up against. Vernon Hargreaves also really good in his first game as a Texan. That was really cool to see. He got hurt there for a second, but overall he played really well, and that's why I'm going to say the Texans end up winning 34-17 over the Broncos in Drew Lock's second start. I like Drew Lock. I think he can be a really good quarterback. I like where the Broncos are heading as a franchise, but overall I think the Texans are definitely the better team, and they're playing for something right now. The Broncos they're playing for pride, but other than that, they're not playing for much. They're not playing for a playoff spot. It is mathematically possible still, but it is very, very unlikely. And I think the Texans at home, they're gonna dominate. And there you go, Texans win. All right, next up, the Lions versus the Vikings. The Vikings got pounded by the Seahawks this past Monday night. They did end up having a good comeback there at the end, but ultimately fell short. Xavier Rhodes that was not a good night for him. He got burnt. He got burnt this past Monday night, but they're still a good team. And then on the other side, the Lions, they had that game in the bag for, the first 3.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden Mitch Trubisky pulling it off in the end, coming back and winning the Bears the game. That was crazy to see. David Blow in his first game, though, did really well. I was really impressed by David Blow, I'll say it however it comes out of my mouth. Really good job by him in his first game. He threw the pick at the end, but 2 touchdowns in your first game ever, leading the game off and on through 3.5 quarters pretty much. That's a good day for any undrafted rookie quarterback. Come on. A third stringer at that too. So, there's not much more you can expect from the guy. He did his job. It just, unfortunately, it ended with a pick on a play. He was just trying to make a play, and it just didn't happen. That being said, I do think the Vikings end up winning 28-10. I'm not sure if it's Driscoll or Blau again, but my guess is it's probably going to be Blau. And either way, even if it's Blau, even if it's Driscoll, I don't think the Lions are going to win this one. I think Kirk Cousins in a non-primetime game can take advantage of that Lions defense. Dalvin Cook is not out for this season or anything. He was just out for Monday night after suffering a clavicle injury, but nothing's broken, not serious, reports say, so he should be playing against the Lions, and they should get the job done on offense as well as defense. I think they'll be fine. Vikings win. All right, next up, probably the best game of this week, 49ers versus Saints. It's going to be up there with Ravens-Bills, but I got to give it to this one as being the game of the week. 49ers versus Saints. It's just going to be a classic matchup. Both 10-2 teams fighting for top seeding. Right now, the 49ers got knocked down to the 5th seed because they lost to the Ravens, and the Seahawks won against the Vikings. So that means that both 10-2 teams, Seahawks have the advantage over the 49ers seeding-wise because they beat them earlier in the season. Seahawks are number 2, Saints are number 1, and 49ers, even though they're 10-2, are sitting at number 5 out of 6. Oof. That's gotta suck, being a wild card team, even though you're one of the best teams in the league at the moment. However, here, the 49ers, top-tier defense, just don't know how to figure out mobile quarterbacks just yet. And good thing Drew Brees isn't mobile, am I right? And then, on offense, Jimmy Garoppolo can get it done. That run game is dangerous with Mostert, and I'm not sure if Tevin Coleman's going to make this one, but Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., Matt Breida, all of them really good when healthy. Right now, Mostert's probably the most healthy. And then George Kittle's back. That's always good. Kyle Juszczyk's in the fold again. That's always good. Mike McGlinchey leading that offensive line out on the field. That's really good for him. He's one of the top young tackles in the game right now. And then it doesn't hurt to have Deebo Samuel on the outside alongside Dante Pettis and my boy Richie James Jr., baby. Anyway, the Saints, I mean, they've got a really good defense too, and their offense can be it's really good, but at times it's not the best. And I think that's going to fault them here. I do think the 49ers go on the road and beat the Saints just barely. 34-30 and a shootout. Wouldn't be surprised if the Saints get it with Alvin Kamara back there, maybe. And a defense that's been doing really well as well. But they almost lost it to the Carolina Panthers a couple weeks ago, and that just didn't sit right with me. And yes, they had a big day against the Falcons, but that was kind of a revenge game and all that. I don't know. If they bring their A game, this is going to be a really tough fight. If they kind of falter a little bit, and even if the 49ers kind of are a little bit off, I think when the Saints are off, they're worse off than the 49ers when they're off, if you get what I'm trying to say. And I do think the 49ers can end up pulling it out on the road. Alright, next up we've got the Dolphins versus the Jets. I mean, the Dolphins are actually, I'm gonna say it right now, the Dolphins have been a fun team to watch. I mean, even if they're losing the games, they are playing their asses off. Are you kidding me? The Dolphins are a really good team. They just don't have the depth or the star quality personnel. I mean, they have some good players, but they're just not the players that you need to win. You know what I'm saying? Like a Mark Ingram or a Kyle Juszczyk, George Kittle, you know what I'm saying? A Stephon Gilmore or a Quentin Nelson. Yeah, they just don't have those solid players, but they do have a good core of players if they can just add some in the draft or through free agency with their upcoming off seasons. I think it's gonna be a really good team. I think Brian Flores, I'm not ready to give up on him yet. I think he still could do well. That Dolphins team, they've got some fight to them. I'll give them that. Ryan Fitzmagic there, he won't last through the rebuild with the team, I'm sure, but I'm sure he'll be on to his next team next year or whatever. But the base set of players is really good, and I'd continue to watch out for them. The Jets, on the other hand, have the star players like Le'Veon Bell, Sam Darnold, CJ Mosley, Jamal Adams. They have those players, but are the opposite of the Dolphins. They have the star players, but they I'm not going to say they suck, but they lose. They're losing with the star players, and I think that comes down to coaching. Adam Gase, Brian Flores. Right now, who would I rather have? Brian Flores. I think the Dolphins were right to get rid of Adam Gase, and I think the Jets were wrong to take him. I think they should have gone Mike McCarthy if he really wanted the spot, or Bruce Arians, or whoever. I didn't like it when it happened, and I continue to not like it. Right now, they seem to be paying for it. Brian Flores, on the other hand, young dude coming from the Patriots system. Most Bill Belichick alumni, or whatever you call them, alumni don't do well, but he seems to have really good potential. He has that team fighting for every yard and touchdown they get, and even though they're losing early on, they lost by a lot more, but they've been tightening up games and coming together and winning a couple or a few now, and they're looking good as a team. And this is going to be a first for SVTV this season. I'm calling the Dolphins to win over the Jets 23-14 on the road. I think the Dolphins come in and they take care of business, baby. Part of me kind of doubts it, I'm not gonna lie, but I felt like I needed to pick them at least one time this season. I might pick the Bengals on a little later down the line, but the Dolphins, I had to pick them in at least one game this season. I've been missing out on my chances to do it because, I mean, who's gonna pick them against the Colts and the Eagles? And I guess the first time against the Jets. But here, I think they sweep the Jets. I'm gonna call it, coming up from Miami to New York or New Jersey is going to be quite the task, but November, December usually favors the home teams, but I'm going to call it. I'm going to stick with it. Dolphins win. All right, next up, the Colts versus the Buccaneers. The Colts facing a plague of injuries at the moment, and that's really not helping Jacoby Brissett. The Buccaneers are facing the Jameis Winston plague at the moment. But, he's hot and he's cold. He's yes and he's no. He's in and he's out, or whatever Katy Perry said. And there's times where he looks like an all-star Pro Bowl quarterback, and there's most times where he doesn't. And I don't know what Jameis Winston we're going to get this game, but I do think the Buccaneers win at home 28-20. Their run game kind of popped out this past week, which was cool to see because since Cadillac Williams really has, Doug Martin, yeah, for a little bit there, but come on. Really, they haven't had a great running game or really good running game since Warwick Dunn, but, all you need is pretty good or serviceable at least, and they don't have that, and that again doesn't help Jameis Winston at quarterback when he doesn't have a reliable running game. I'm not going to say that's the main problem with Jameis Winston, but that sure is a problem with him. When you can't rely on running game, you have to pass, and you can't then rely on play action, which Bruce Arians likes to do too. It's just not going to work out usually. But here, I think Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, maybe even O.J. Howard has a breakout game for the first time, but Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, that should be a good day. And then on the flip side, Colts, they're hurting on offense, missing Eric Ebron, Marlon Mack, and then T.Y. seems to be a little banged up too, but he's playing through it. And I think it's going to be a close game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Colts get it, but I just have to go Buccaneers. I have to go Buccaneers at home. They're going to get it. All right, next up, the Jaguars. Next up, the Chargers versus the Jaguars. I don't know what anyway, the Chargers versus the Jaguars. Minshew Mania is back, baby. Big Balls Beowulf is back under center. Or if I really want to be expressive about it and use alliteration, Big Balls Beowulf is back behind the big boys. Anyway, yes, Beowulf, Gardner, Flint, Minshew the second is back, baby. The boys are back in town. The Beowulf is back in town, and everyone's excited, including yours truly. I am definitely excited for him. I love Big Dick Nick, and all that he brings on the table just flops it all out there. I get it. That's cool too. But, the future is now, old man, and the future is Big Balls Beowulf getting it done. Minshew Mania, Minshew Magic, and all that good stuff. I hope Nick Foles can find himself. I'm calling the Bears. I think I've said it before. I'm calling the Bears. Matt Nagy, that offense, he knows Matt Nagy from his time with Kansas City. He knows that offense. Mitchell Trubisky, he had himself a good game with it. It's not going to last forever. And then Nick Foles, he knows the system. Who knows, but that's what I'm feeling right now. Anyway, that being said, the Chargers are facing tough times right now on their side of the ball, and the Jaguars defense is fierce. I think they can feast on a bad offensive line for the Chargers. Maybe get on Rivers all day, which won't make him comfortable. He'll throw a couple picks. He'll get benched for Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor won't do well. He'll be running all day. I just don't think it ends well. I do think Phillip Rivers gets benched at some point in this game. He almost got benched this past game. I think it happens here if they're doing as bad as I think they will do. I ultimately don't know. I hope it doesn't happen. Well, I kind of hope it doesn't happen because I like Phillip Rivers and everything, but if it does happen, I think it's going to be here. On the other side, there's been a lot of speculation that Doug Marrone won't even last the season, let alone into next year. I say less until the offseason, and then they replace him with Tom Coughlin. Get that. Watch out for it. Tom Coughlin pretty much runs a lot of the things, a lot of the operations for the Jaguars right now, and it's not up in cold New Jersey, New York, it's down in sunny Florida where he's already doing a lot of stuff for them. I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Coughlin comes back as the head coach of the Jaguars, a position that he held in the 90s when they first became a team. I just watch out for it. That'd be cool to see. Anyway, here I do think the Jaguars win over the Chargers 26-20. I'm calling a close game. I don't know where it's going to land. I do think the Jaguars end up winning this one. I think the spark with Gardner Minshew coming back in the fold might propel them one touchdown over or one score over the Chargers. And then again, that defense gets after Rivers and everything. I do think maybe Eckler has himself another good day, but ultimately the Chargers can't pull it out. All right, next up, the Steelers versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals coming off a shellacking and ass-whooping fit for the Kings against the Rams. Jesus Christ. Wow, that was definitely not what I thought it was going to be. I was definitely wrong on that game. Steelers, on the other hand, I said they wouldn't win, even though I said they would win, and then I said, no, they wouldn't win, and they won. damn it. There you go. They deserved it. And I think they come in here and I think they get themselves another win in the Super Bowl 2008 matchup or whatever it was. Polamalu versus Larry Fitzgerald there. I do think the Steelers win 27-16 over the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be a good team. They're going to be a team to watch out for. But ultimately, I mean, they're going to be 3rd or 4th in that division for at least the next couple of years, probably. And it's not even going to be their fault. It's just the 49ers and Seahawks are looking too good. And that's just one of my predictions. I mean, the Rams aren't even going to be, they're going to be 3rd or 4th too. The Cardinals are going to be fighting for the Rams for 3rd and 4th. But yeah, anyway, I just don't think it ends up being a good day for the Cardinals yet again. It's going to be definitely closer than last week. But Minkah Fitzpatrick, Bud Dupree, Cameron Hayward, and the rest of that defense, I think they're just too good right now. And they're a hot team. And then Duck Hodges, baby. It's Duck Dynasty time. Are you kidding me? That was a good move. I think he fits the offense better. I think the offense just, it's not even that he's just better fit for the offense, which I think he is, for what they want to run. I just think they like him more, to be honest. And yes, I was high on Mason Rudolph. I really like him. But again, like I said last week, I'm just not seeing what I thought I saw in college, or what I did see. I did see it in college. I saw the talent, the arm talent was just out of this world. I thought he was going to be like a top round pick, and I really liked what I saw, but I'm just not seeing it when I watch Steeler games. And I think moving Devlin Duck Hodges was the right move to save the season and get to the playoffs at least. And there you go. The Steelers win this one. All right, next up, another kind of game of the week. I would put it 3rd out of the 3, but the Chiefs versus the Patriots is going to be a really interesting one to watch. Will the Patriots get beat by another top team yet again, or will they prevail in this one and come out on top? It's going to be in Foxborough, so that's going to definitely help them. But then again, you have the magic arm of Patrick Mahomes, and that defense is kind of getting better. I mean, that defense, it's still mid to bottom league, but it's showing sparks here and there, showing that it can do stuff. Chris Jones, Tyrann Mathieu, Charvarius Ward leading the defense, leading the charge. But all in all, it's susceptible to big plays. But then again, Patriots offensively, I mean, they can put up points. They've regressed. They're not the same offense as we're used to seeing. They're still pretty damn good when it comes down to crunch time. I mean, they almost even came back on the Texans there. But then again, that defense is stellar, one of the top defenses in the league right now, and that's what you need to win. They've got it. I think the Patriots win at home 20-24 in a very close one. I think Patrick Mahomes can get a couple on that defense like Deshaun Watson did, but ultimately I think the Patriots offense, maybe even special teams, can take advantage of a weak Chiefs defense. Ultimately, I mean, yes, like I said, they've tightened, they've actually grown and become a little bit better than what we saw last year out of them and earlier in the season, but yeah, it's just, I don't think it's good enough to hold up here. I think the Patriots pull it out, they win. Alright, next up we've got the Titans versus the Raiders. This might have been the toughest one for me to choose this week. I went back and forth on this one too, but I'm going with my original pick. I'm sticking to it because last week it hurt me when I did. I'm going to pick my original pick here in a second, but first, the Titans coming off a huge win against the Colts, where I hate to see Adam Vinatieri not do well, but then again, he missed a 55-yarder. That's not easy to make, even indoors. I mean, yeah, you should make those if you're Adam Vinatieri, but it's not easy to make. I'll give him that one. I'll let that one pass. And 2 block kicks, I mean, one was low and it got blocked by a lineman. That's on Adam Vinatieri. He should get that up a little bit more. But then again, it was like a 53-yarder. Usually those end up being low, and you have to arc it in there. For it to get the distance, it has to kind of start off low. You can't just... Anyway, that was block. And then the other one was a right-out block that was returned for a touchdown, which is very unfortunate. Hate to see it. Maybe the release time on his kicks a little bit slow, and that's why it's getting blocked too. But I hate to see it. But anyway, but that aside, the Titans did it. The Titans were able to get it done with Derrick Henry, co-offensive player of the week. He got it done on the ground and through the air even. And then on the other side, the Raiders got the shit beat out of them. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bounce back game here for the Raiders. I think their run game can get back going, but I like the Titans defense a little bit too much. And then I think Derrick Henry can run all over them. And that is why I'm calling the Titans to win 22-10 over the Raiders. Ryan Tannehill might have himself a good day through the air, and I just think the Titans can get it done. It's going to be on the road, yes, and like I said, later season games usually favor the home teams, but I don't know. I have a feeling Titans, they're ready to get a playoff spot. They're still contending. The Raiders are kind of coming off a slump. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a bounce back game where they're just like, okay, okay, we're still in this, guys. Let's get it done. We've got the shit kicked out of us the past couple of weeks. Let's come back. Let's regroup. Let's get this done. They win. I think the Titans get it here. Titans win. All right, Sunday Night Football. We've got the Seahawks versus the Rams. Should be an actual good one. The Rams coming off a big game. The Seahawks coming off a big game. Division rivals. That's always fun to see. Seahawks versus Rams is actually usually a really good game. Even when the Rams were terrible a couple seasons back when they first moved to Los Angeles, and even before Los Angeles when they were in St. Louis near the end there, and the Seahawks had that really good stretch of, I mean, they're still on that stretch, I guess, but with Russell Wilson, Legion of Boom, all that good stuff. I mean, the Rams would put up games against the Seahawks and still win. I mean, they were doing really well, even though they were bad, and the Seahawks were good. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another one. And even earlier in the season, they won 30-29, the Seahawks did. But that was at home. That was a 1-point game in Century League. But here, I do think the Seahawks get another win and remain at the number 2. Well, I guess after this win, they'd be number 1 seed in the NFC. I think the Seahawks win 30-20 over the Rams on the road. I think the Seahawks are too hot right now. I think Russell Wilson is too hot right now. I think if Rashad Penny is coming onto the scene big time, I liked him coming out. I will say I did not think he was worth a first-round pick. I really was like, eesh, that was not where he should have gone. I thought third-round pick, late second to mid-third round, that area, but they got him in the first a year ago, and I was like, I don't know about that. But right now it's working out. Chris Carson as well, doing really well. Tyler Lockett coming into his own, which is cool to see. DK Metcalf as well, doing really well. And then Josh Gordon hasn't really jumped out just yet, but he's due for a big game, I'm sure, and this may be it. And yeah, I just think the Seahawks have a little bit too much going for them, and the Rams, I mean, even coming off a big game, I think the Seahawks can get it done. Seahawks win. All right, Monday Night Football, everybody. We've got the Giants versus the Eagles. Yeah, I kind of wish it was flexed to, one of the 3 games that we said were the game of the week earlier. That would be cool, but I mean, it's still a divisional game, which should be interesting and fun. The Eagles still fighting for a playoff spot. The Giants, not really, but aren't mathematically eliminated just yet. The Giants aren't because they just were eliminated this past week. And yeah, I think it's that's my thoughts on the game, pretty much. I'll watch it, but I won't really take anything away from it. The Giants win. It's like, yeah, I could see that. I mean, the Eagles just lost to the Dolphins. Why not the Giants too? And if the Eagles win, it's like, yeah, I could see it. I mean, they should beat the Giants, but it doesn't really legitimize the Eagles or say, oh, that's a huge bounce back game. And if they lose, it's like, yeah, it's whatever. I figured they weren't a playoff team. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's whatever game. It doesn't really hold much importance outside of if the Eagles win, they continue to still be a game behind the Cowboys. I am going to call the Eagles winning 22-14 at home. I think Danny Dimes, might have himself a couple touchdowns, one to Saquon, one to Slayton or something like that. And then, Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, maybe. Who knows? Jordan Howard. Defense gets a touchdown. I don't know. But that's what I'm going to call. And there you go. That was this week. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, comment anything down below. Bold predictions, anything like that. Copy and paste is in the description for you to copy that sucker and paste it down below with your predictions on who you think's going to win, maybe a score, whatever you want to do. Pick against me or alongside me, however you like to view it. And yep, that is going to do it for us here today. So I love you guys, appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping by. And as always, I'm Buddy Strange. This is StrangeVoodooTV. Keep it strange, everybody. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.